Well, good morning, everyone, from Kitchen Table Scale Models. This is George here. Like most of the country, we're experiencing a little bit of winter weather here in Maryland today. Woke up this morning to about 8 inches of snow. Since then, the snow has turned to ice and freezing rain, which has tamped down the snow, but given us a nice crusty layer of frozen crap on top of it. I want to get this shot pretty quickly. I don't know how much longer I'm going to have power and internet and all that stuff. My property is adjacent to a several hundred acre reservoir property that's all woods, and that's where my power lines come from. So although the local power company does a decent job maintaining them, we're prepared for a power outage at some time today. If not, I plan on doing some building. But what I thought I'd do today is just kind of check in with you, give you an update on where I am on the screw bottom builds, which I'm going to need to put aside for a while. Not for long. I'm pretty far along with one of them, with the Oldsmobile. Got most of the painting done, or at least the body painting done on the Pontiac and the Buick. But short explanation is I've recently been asked to build a model for someone, which I've never really done. I've never really done commissions, or actually I've never done commissions, not really done. But this is a special one, and it kind of struck a chord with me. And I'll tell you more about that as I get into it, but it's got a deadline associated with it. I'm shooting to get it done by the third Saturday of next month, so I can take it to Mama with me, and then shortly after that deliver it to its recipient. So I've got about a month to build a model that I'm proud of, and I should be able to do it, but I'd rather get it done a week early and then get back on the screw bottoms than to spend time finishing up the screw bottoms and end up in a rush to finish up this commission. But we'll tell you more about that as I get into that build. But for today, what we're going to do is we're going to turn the camera around and take a look individually at where I am on these various builds, what's been done, what's left to do, and just kind of do some self-critique of the work and commentary on it. So if that's something that interests you, stick by. If it's not something that interests you, I don't know, go watch Lucas C or something. Well, welcome back. We're going to start here with the 66, 65, I always can't remember which it is. I'm going to start here with the 65 Oldsmobile. I just noticed some dust on the top there. 65 Oldsmobile Dynamic 88. Body paint on this is finished. Chassis is pretty well finished. Interior is pretty far along, and actually got started on the engine. I can't remember where I snagged these mag wheels out of. Could have been from a 442 kit. I'm not sure. But I don't know. They kind of, I like the look of the mags and the white litter tires on this car. Paint on this came out pretty good, and this is the scale finishes, and this is scale finishes pearl. Color is called gloom green. If you can't quite see in this light, see if I can move some light around it. See, it's got a little bit of a bluish tint to it. That does show up in the camera, but it's a real gentle color shift. Some angles and the light hits it and it looks blue, some of it hits green. This has been clear coated. It hasn't been waxed or polished. I did add a little decals to it. I had some decals from the 442 kit, a little Oldsmobile emblem, and I put a little Oldsmobile emblem on the quarter panel, and just to have a little fun, I did a little W30 tag on the rear quarter. Chrome with this was all done with bare metal foil. You can see I flocked the interior. Now, I'm not going to take it apart, but if you'd like to see, I All right, good shot there. I had a number of viewers comment on the flocking that I was doing on the last couple of builds and asked how I did it, and I kind of stumbled into a method that is simple and easy and works well for me, and I thought I'd share it. So there's a video out there on flocking this interior. Chrome on this was redone with Fusion Chrome, Fusion Firm, which it really needed. I also, on this one, I also drilled out the headlights for clear headlights. And dash is a work in process. The inset is painted with flat aluminum, and then the whole thing was hit with a semi-gloss clear, and I did the chrome trim and the chrome pieces, and I still have to do the black on the radio and whatnot. I'm trying to zoom in. The gauges on this, let's see if we can get a little better light on this. Yeah, it ain't working. Come on, focus, work for me. There we go. Gauges are for best model car parts. They're just kind of generic photo reduced gauges that I cut out using a punch and set in there. They're not prototyped. They're not exactly to fit this kit, although best model car parts does do gauges that are vehicle specific. The engine is started using a distributor from Pre-Wire distributor. I can't think who it is. Hang on, let me look. I got one right here. Okay, the Pre-Wire distributor came from Concord. Otherwise, this engine is right out of the box with the 3.2 barrels. I pulled the valve covers out of, I think, one of the 442 kits. I just like the fin valve covers on these, so I got a little bit to do on this. But so that's the Oldsmobile. It's coming along nicely. Next up, let's look at the Buick. And this is where I've kind of screwed up a little bit on these next two, and I'm learning. But I think the good news is I know what I screwed up. Oops. Again, like the Oldsmobile, I redid the chrome. That came out really nicely. A little bit of schmutz on here, but it came out nicely, and it's been dried now for the packaging on this stuff says you should let it dry for 72 hours before handling. I err on the safe side. If I know I'm going to be rechroming a part, especially since I've been working with this Fusion firm, that's the first thing I'm going to do when I start a build. I get the chrome painted, I let it sit. So this stuff's probably been sitting about 3 weeks since I painted it. It also spent a night or two in the dehydrator at 113 degrees to bake it. I don't do that until the chrome is really pretty well dry, about a week into it. Let's look at this. I'm going to use the wide white walls and Kelsey Hayes from an AMT parts pack on this. I just think it suits the design of the car nicely. I have the base, my paint done, and we're gonna move this into an area where I get some more light. Let's try this. Here we go. The paint on this is again a scale finishes. I can't remember the exact color. It's the light blue, and then the fade is done with their scale finishes Luxe Blue. I'm learning something about the scale finishes paint. They do recommend putting it over their base, which in this case I did. This has their white base, but the primer that I used on this was, I think I'm making a mistake with this paint. Either one of two things. Either I'm seeing a reaction with the Mr. Finishing primer that's underneath the base, or I'm just getting too heavy-handed when laying this paint on. It's probably hard to see. Well, it's not so hard to see, unfortunately. If you look closely at the paint, you can see it's got almost a texture to it. Now it's smooth, but it's. I think what I'm seeing is a reaction. It's definitely a paint reaction, or whether it's an incompatibility issue, or I'm laying the paint on too hard, too heavy. I'm not sure, but I'll figure that out as I go along. And where I'm kind of thinking it's a paint issue is I've used this paint on several builds, and I really should keep notes of what I'm doing, but I've used this paint on several builds so far, and I've had some that, like the Oldsmobile I just showed you, came out, glass is smooth, no orange peel or crazing or any sort of reaction. Those that came out nicely like that, my Impala, this Oldsmobile, a 34 Ford or 36 Ford I did. I used all Scale Finishes product, the primer as well as the base coat, and I think that makes a difference. I really do. So I'm gonna be a little more careful on future builds. And last but not least, on the screw bottom front is the 1959 Pontiac. I'm really happy with the way this came out. This did not come out badly, despite the paint issues. The bumper was fun. I stripped the chrome. I masked where the chrome was going to be, and painted the base coat, color coat clear. Then masked that and did the chrome. And I'll be honest with you, I was a little nervous about how that was going to work out, but I think it worked out pretty darn well. And here's the iconic 59 Pontiac front end, which, how do you not love that? I mean, it's a face only a mother could love. Anyway, gonna do something. I don't know. It almost was out of character on this, but I just think it looks nice. These chrome mini light wheels, for some reason, I just thought looked really good on this build, on this car. And I gotta play with the way the wheels are set. They're obviously not where I want them to be. I just did this temporarily for stance, but paint on this is again Scale Finishes green apple. And the interesting thing about this build, about the paint on this, is that the green apple, and here you can see something. The whole car is done with green apple, but the lower portion is base coat is the black, and the upper portion base coat is white. And you can see how when the light hits it at certain angles, it almost reads like it's not two-tone. Kind of close to it right there. You can kind of see the way the light reflects off it. But the dark cove, I think, really looks pretty sharp on this car. I've got all of the chrome done on this one, again with bare metal foil, and you can see I had the same issue with orange peel or some kind of crap going on there. So that's it. That's where I am on the screw bottoms. My plan is, as I said, I need to put these aside for a few weeks. Maybe as I hit stopping points or break points on the build, my commission, I'll get a little bit done on this. I'd really like to have the Oldsmobile to take to the next Mama meeting. Actually, I'd really like to have all three of these to take to the next Mama meeting, but I've got to give priority to the commission I've been asked to do. So that's it. If you found this interesting, please hit like, please subscribe if you're so inclined. If you really found it interesting and you think other people might, please share it. Comment. Love to know what you have to say about these builds. If you have any thoughts on what might be causing my paint problems, I'm all ears. Actually, probably more all beer belly, but that's besides the point. So anyway, if you can, just thanks for watching, and stay safe out there. If you're in part of the country that's being affected by this lovely little weather pattern we have going on, stay warm, stay safe. Hope your house stays lit and warm, And, see you later. Thanks.